Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on Gran Turismo 7. We're back with the Gran Turismo 7 Super License Test Part 1. So in this we're going to be going through Super License 1, 2 and 3. So that is the Lamborghini at High Speed Ring, it is the Ferrari F50 at Monza, and it is the Silvia Group 4 car at Tsukuba. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some tips to try and make these gold licenses as easy as possible for you lot to get. So if you do enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, let me know in the comment section if they helped you out. We will be moving on to part 2 hopefully within the next 7 days. So yeah, let's get this first section done. So starting our license test with the Super License 1, we're going to start our lap in the Lamborghini. Now first of all, straight away, stay to the right hand side of this track, use the camber on the corner because obviously this is cambered slightly, so don't go really low down to the bottom of the corner straight away. Stay pretty high, and you're going to see we're going to follow quite a high line and gradually bring it into the middle of the track. It's not going to be like, we're not going to go all the way down to the bottom of the apex, as the car will understeer if you do that. So yeah, as we come through here, you can see the red tent on the left, and as we hit about that point, we're going to give what I like to call a little safety lift. So keep your eye on the accelerator, just a brief little lift off. It's going to help rotate the car because it's going to transfer the weight very briefly, and then back onto the throttle. That's going to line us up and get us start turning it a little bit better. So you can see again, trying to stay away from the bottom of the curb, trying to keep it in the middle of the track, and then powering out this corner, maximum speed, almost 200 miles per hour on the exit, and then working our way into the next braking zone. Now you're going to brake incredibly early for this corner. You can see that 200 board. I use that as a reference. Try and brake slightly short of that. You can see just getting on the brakes ever so slightly now, just before that 200 board. And we're going to stay to the right hand side of the track. So this is where a lot of people get confused. This corner is cambered, so you're going to stay very wide and use the camber all the way around this very long left hand corner. So we're not going to go down to the apex of the curb. So you're going to see using the camber of the corner all the way on the outside of the track. There's plenty of grip out here, so you can see all the way around the outside. Do not touch the wall because it'll be an instant disqualification. But yeah, powering our way out and now into the next braking zone, which we're going to use the 100 board as a reference, making sure we're braking short of that again, because if you brake on the 100 board, you're going to brake too late. So on the 100 board, just short of the 100 board. And now we're going to start rotating the car into this corner. So we're going to start trail braking down through the gears. You can see the trail braking are happening down to third gear to rotate the car into this apex. So use the gears to help you rotation. Stay in third gear at this point, and you're going to see I'm starting to play with the accelerator at this point. So the acceleration is going to start getting played with, about 50% throttle all the way through, and we're going to keep playing with that throttle. At this point, you're going to try and rotate the car into this next part. So you're going to see I'm going to swing the car to the right hand side to try and help with the angle through to this left hand corner, and we're going to early upshift to fourth gear just as we're coming out the exit. So you're going to see up to fourth gear, and now we're going to start using that throttle again, and we can go a bit more aggressively with the throttle now because we're in fourth gear. We upshifted early. Now that does lose you some initial acceleration, as you can see from the Corsair. However, what it does is it means you then don't have to change gear, and you get a bit better exit speed from the corner. Now into this corner, you want to get the car onto this right hand curb over here, because you want to swing it in from as far right as possible for this final corner, because again, you're going to use the camber of this final corner. So again, you're not going to go right down to the bottom of the apex. You're going to try and keep the car as high as possible. Now do remember, it's not so easy to keep it really high because you've not got the best tires on this car. So you're almost in the middle of the track and then working your way to the outside of the track, and again using that camber. You can see the throttle being about 70-80%, and then on the throttle maximum all the way out the exit and over the finish line, staying in fifth gear here and working your way to a fairly comfortable time of a 109.7, I think it is. Let's have a little look. 109.7. So yeah, nearly 2.5 seconds clear of the goal. You should be able to get that goal fairly comfortably if you follow this guide. So next up, we have the Ferrari F50 at Monza, and again, this one is actually fairly easy as long as you just follow very basic tips. So yeah, first up, we're going to look for the 200 board as a reference for our braking, and you're going to brake just slightly short of the 200 board. So you're going to see there, 200 board there, and we're already starting to get our braking inputs in, and this is because this car's not got very good brakes. So make sure you're on the brakes nice and early, down through the gears. And again, you're going to start turning in quite early. As we see that 50 board on the left, we're almost turning in at this point to try and hit the apex of the first part of the chicane. So you're going to see trail braking into the corner. You see the trail braking happening. As we hit the apex of the corner, you can see we're almost middle of the car, right on that curb there. And again, as we come to the exit of the corner, we're going to try and get the car onto the curb on the second part, stay in second gear as well, keep that throttle around 50 to 60, 70% until you've got the confidence to go to 100% and power your way out of the final part of the chicane. And now we're going to be going into the second chicane at Monza. And again, you're going to need to brake quite early because, like I say, this Ferrari F50 really does struggle on the brakes. So again, you're going to be looking out for the 200 board, and you're going to brake pretty much on that, just short of that 200 board. So as we fast forward there, you can see pretty much dead on the 200 board is where we're getting onto the brakes. And we're going to, again, trail brake, keep it in a straight line down through the gears, gradually downshifting and trail brake down to second gear. And we're going to start turning in quite early again, because you can take quite a bit off the actual first part of the chicane. So you can see, as I approach the chicane, though, I'm going to go up to third gear. Now, this is for stability, so that we can actually carry speed out of it. So you can see, attacking the chicane, and we want to try and go as straight line as possible through the chicane. So you can see, attack the left-hand side, and then over the middle of your car, almost over that sausage curb on the right hand side there. So again, be careful. Just before we hit that curb, we make sure we come completely off the throttle and then back onto the throttle to carry the exit speed in third gear. And then we're going to be working our way into the next braking zone for the two Lesmo corners. Now again, this corner you're braking almost in the middle of the 100 and the 50 boards. You see there, a lot earlier than what you would normally do for other cars. But again, this car's very poor on brakes. Again, trail braking through the corner, and again, turning in quite early because we want to use a little bit of the camber of this corner and get that right hand tire as close to the curb as possible, and just trail brake. And then again, you're going to keep your throttle around 50%. You can see there, we're playing with that throttle until we feel confident we can get on that power. You can see dropping it down to about 40-50%, and then on the power maximum 100% throttle on the exit of the first part of the Lesmo. Now again, for the next braking zone, you're going to be braking almost dead in the middle of the 100 and the 50 board. You can see our braking inputs going in there. And again, for this corner, it's all about utilizing the exit speed. So you're going to start turning in quite early. Again, trail brake, and you're going to watch the trail braking gradually decrease. And you want to get your right hand tire to almost skim the green part of Astro on the right hand side there. And again, keep your eye on the throttle because we want to get as much exit speed as possible. So we were on about 60 to 70% throttle until we felt the grip there, and then power out of that corner. If you get that corner right, you should easily be able to get gold on this time trial. So yeah, into the next braking zone, and we're working our way into the Ascari chicane. Again, braking around the 200 board. You see there, 200 board on the right hand side. Brake pretty much dead on that 200 board. So as we fast forward there, just fractionally past it, I'm on the brakes there, and we're going to be slowing the car down. Again, we're trail braking heavy on the brakes, downshift the car in a straight line, and then just trail brake into the corner again. As we go onto that 50 board, you're going to start turning it in, and you're going to see we're trail braking all the way into this corner in third gear. And you can actually attack this curb just like you do with the other curbs. Just don't hit the sausage part of the curb, because that will actually unsettle the car. And again, playing with the throttle all the way through this corner, keeping the right hand tire on the curb there, and then swinging the car into this curb up to fourth gear just before we got to that curb as well, just to settle the car down, just so that we don't get the rear sliding around. And again, you're going to carry momentum out of that corner if you do that correctly, and it should be a fairly comfortable goal time. There's just one more corner to go now. We're going to use the brake reference as the 150 board on the left hand side there. You can see dead on the brakes, pretty much lined up with the 150 board. And again, heavy on the brakes, downshift through the gears, and we're going to actually turn in quite early into this corner, because you want to hit the right hand tire as close to the curb on the entry as possible. Again, because this corner is slightly cambered, you can see it there. So stay close to this right hand side, and you're going to see this will give you better exit and obviously carry a little bit more speed through the corner. So again, in fourth gear, watch the throttle inputs as we go through here. We're going to be as aggressive as we can. However, remember, we're on pretty rubbish tires, so the car is going to get a little bit loose. And you can see it's feathering that throttle. Just as I feel the rear is going to go, I'm just going to come off the throttle a little bit, then back on the power, and work our way over the line for a very, very comfortable time, 157.7. And yeah, that's way clear of the gold. So again, if you follow these basic tips, you should easily be able to get the gold lap time on the Ferrari F50 Monza Challenge. So now the final part of the Super License Part 1 test is Tsukuba at Indy Silvia. And we're going to go into turn one. And again, we're going to use that 50 board on the left-hand side as a brake reference. So just as we come to the 50 board, you're going to see braking inputs in. And we're going to start downshifting the car through the gears. You can see as we play the video, downshift through the gears, trail brake through the corner. And you want to turn in quite early. Again, you want to get your right-hand tire to hit this curb on the right-hand side, or just skim the curb on the right-hand side. So as we approach the corner, we're going to downshift the second gear. You see it there to help rotate the car. clip the right hand tire on that white line almost as we go through the apex of the corner, then onto the throttle as early as possible. You see very early on the throttle with this car, you can be super aggressive, a lot of traction, upshift early there into third gear for the exit, and now we're going to work our way into the next braking zone. This is completely flat, and then as we come through here, we're going to try and take a straight line through here as much as possible. So use a little bit of the grass on the right hand side, so right hand tire onto the grass, left hand tire almost on that curb there, and as our left hand tire hits the curb, we're onto the brakes. You can see downshifting and braking quite aggressively into third gear, and you're going to try and widen the line in here to square the car off. So you can see in the middle of the track, downshift a second to try and get the car into the apex to rotate it, and then again watch the throttle very early on the throttle because this car's got a lot of traction, pretty much 100% throttle on the exit there, up to third gear nice and early. And again here we're going to use as much of the track as possible to swing it in underneath the Dunlop bridge there. So again, use the track width. You can see very close to the edge of the track, braking just short of the end of the orange coloured wall on the left hand side, down to third gear, skim the apex again. You really want to get the right hand tyre as close to this curb as possible so you can carry as much speed through the corner as possible. Again, watch the throttle inputs, a little bit of messing around through the corner. Now for this part, you're going to stay on the throttle and you're going to keep the car as close to the left hand side as possible. You're not going to swing it in too much, just a little bit of a swing in there, left hand tyre almost touching the grass. Keep the throttle down into fourth gear, and now into the second to last braking zone, which again we're going to use this little bit of green Astro tarmac on the left hand side. You see just brake just past the start of that, braking inputs going in now, and again heavy on the brakes, downshift through the gears. So heavy on the brakes, downshift into third gear, and then as we approach the corner, downshift to second gear. That's going to help rotate the car. And again, you want to square this car off to get as much exit speed as possible, because it's all about getting the exit speed onto the straight. So yeah, on the throttle as early as we dare. You can see about 95% throttle, 100% throttle then on the exit. Early upshift to third gear again before you get onto the straight line part. And now we're going to work our way into the final corner, which I like to carry as much speed as possible pretty much. So you're going to brake just on this, pretty much before the end of the third tree shadow. I'm pretty much in the middle of the tree pretty much, and I use that pit wall, the pit sign on the right hand side, as kind of a reference how early I brake. Also, I kind of take a lot of things in on that corner and let the car coast through here. So you can see in fourth gear, letting the car coast, then down to third gear for a bit of rotation. Again, letting the car coast, a little bit of trail braking going in as well, and then on the throttle as early as you dare. Now remember, you need to keep the car rotating, so you might have to play with that throttle a little bit to keep it rotating. Be careful not to run wide because you can easily pick up a penalty on the exit there. And over the line again for a very comfortable, quite a short lap, over 2.5 seconds ahead of the goal. So I think if you follow these guys, you're going to easily get them gold super licenses for super license 1, 2 and 3. Now we're going to be moving on to the second part for 4, 5 and 6 very shortly. We already have the super license 10 guide on the channel, so make sure you subscribe if you want to check that out. It will be in the super license guide section on the playlist. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all soon for more videos and live streams.